welcome back to another NFL game prediction video. And today we're going to be looking at all of the Week 9 games, all 15 of them. We're going to be picking each and every one. We're going to look at what some of my friends' takes, and then I'm going to explain my pick. Real quick before we get started, if you're new around here, make sure you go down there, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the noties. Now's the time to be on the channel. This whole week we're previewing all Power 5 college basketball conferences, and then Mondays from here on out will be designated for Power 40 college basketball rankings. You can expect that every week. You can expect college football top 25 rankings every Tuesday. Obviously, these every Wednesday. And then typically NBA's Thursday, not this week. We also do MLB content when that season is rolling. So if any of that interests you, make sure you go on there, subscribe. Links in the description. As always, X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those, join those. You're going to want to follow X. I'll tweet whenever I upload a video, as well as make some tweets about sports stuff that's happening around all, everything. So go ahead and give that a follow. But let's just go right on in to our standings. So yet again, I'm in first place. I got a comfortable 6-game lead here, and I will say I've won all 3 years we've done this. I'm looking for the four-peat this year, and I'm in a really good spot right now. Like I said, 6-game lead over second. Ben was actually in fourth place last week. It's a pretty tight race there between second, third, and fourth. Only 2 games separating. I should say 1 game separating each of them from each other. Then there's a bit of a drop-off. Obviously, Sammy has pretty much, gotten out of the race at this point. He's probably going to finish last place. I mean, 23 games under 500, it's not, a good look. But he is. I guess there's a chance. There's always a chance, but we'll see with him. But I am in first, per usual. But let's move on into the Thursday night game. So I apologize for 3 guys being in the middle. I did have to record this a day before Wednesday, so I'm actually recording this on Tuesday because pretty busy Wednesday that is. But I did want to make sure I got this video out in time. So, it's a little bit early in the week, so I didn't have all the picks in yet. But we'll still have mine. And looking at this, we already got 2 on the Texans, 1 on the Jets. I could actually see the Jets winning this game just because this kind of feels like a must-win game for the Jets. I mean, it's kind of make-or-break time with the Jets. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The over-under is 42.5. That might be – it's tied for the lowest over-under besides the Patriots and Titans game of the week. So I think it's going to be another ugly Jets game. I don't know. I feel like I say this every week because the Jets are always on primetime, but I don't know why the Jets have it seems like a primetime game every single week. I just don't understand it. They've had more primetime games than regular games this year. It's weird. The Jets are actually favored by 2 at home here. I could actually see Aaron Rodgers going out and winning this one, like I said. I still do believe the Jets defense is very good, and I think Devontae Adams now in his 3rd week with the team. I would expect him to kind of get into the swing of things. He started off slow the first 2 weeks. Garrett Wilson still doing his thing. Breece Hall still doing his thing. It's hard for me not to pick the Texans, so I'm going to go out and take them. But the Jets actually are favored by 2, which kind of surprising to me. I guess they're at home. I don't know, though. I mean, the Texans are 6-2, and the Jets are 2-6. They have not looked good at all. Offensively, defensively, just everywhere. So it's really weird to see the Jets favored here. Maybe they know something I don't. I don't know. I mean, Diggs is out for the year, so the Texans will be without Diggs and Nico Collins. Maybe that's what it is. Still got Joe Mixon, still got Tank Dell, still got Dalton Schultz, C.J. Stroud, obviously. I'm going to take the Texans. I feel like it's the safest bet. But again, I could see the Jets actually pulling this one off, as crazy as it is to say. Another pretty split game, in my opinion. Not split, I guess, necessarily picks-wise, but it is a pretty tough one to predict. The Cowboys taking on the Falcons on the road. The Cowboys at 3-4. If they lose this game, they're putting themselves in quite a bit of a hole. If they lose, they fall to 3-5. I mean, at that point, the playoffs are kind of in jeopardy. I mean, you don't want to be 3-5 approaching the midway point. I mean, this is the halfway point of the NFL season, as crazy as it is to say it's flying by. But this is week 9 out of 18 weeks, so it's definitely going to be. This is in my opinion, a must-win game for the Cowboys, which is why I think they get it done. But it is tough. This isn't Atlanta. Atlanta's 5-3. They're looking really good. They have a really good chance to win their division. I think they probably will. I feel like the Cowboys have got to win this one. I mean, the Eagles, what are they at? They're at 5-2, so the Cowboys are already um 1.5 games back of the Eagles. I mean, they got some work to do. I think they have to win this game, so I think they do. But the Falcons are favored by 3 at home, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, I could see the Falcons winning this one. Ultimately, though, I just feel like in a must-win game, the Cowboys get it done. At least a must-win game in my eyes. The Dolphins versus Bills. This is another one where it feels like, you look at the records, it feels like an easy one, but I don't know. I mean, I know the Bills have looked really good. They just blew out the Seahawks. They're 6-2. They're looking like a Super Bowl contender with Josh Allen now bringing in Amari Cooper, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman both look really good. Dalton Kincaid, James Cook as well. I mean, the offense is stacked and the defense is very solid as well. I mean, like I said, I believe they held the Seahawks to 10 points last week. That's pretty impressive. The Bills are favored by 6 points at home. Ultimately, I can't really take the risk and take the Dolphins here. I mean, Tua is going to be, you know, in his second game back, so I feel like that could get him going a little bit. And I feel like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to, have a pretty good game here. In this one, the Dolphins are going to need to throw the ball a little. Obviously, A-Chain had a great game last week. I think the Dolphins look a lot better, but it's really hard for me to pick against the Bills at home with the way they've been playing recently. Again, they're favored by 6. I can't pick against them, but I could actually see the Dolphins going in there and winning this one. It is in Buffalo, though, which is tough. The Raiders go into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This is one where I feel like the Bengals, they need this. It came at the right time. The Bengals sitting at 3-5. They're in a tough spot. They're favored by 7.5 though at home. I'm gonna go ahead and take them. T. Higgins is going to play, I believe. Even if he doesn't play, I probably still take the Bengals. I mean, the Raiders just look terrible on offense. There's nothing really to get excited about over there except for Brock Bowers. Yes, they still have Max Crosby, but the defense doesn't really look good. The offense looks abysmal. I feel like the Bengals are going to be able to score whatever they want, and I feel like they'll be able to slow. They could probably win this one 28-10. I mean, I could see that in the card. So I think the Bengals are a pretty clear pick here to win this one. The Chargers versus the Browns. This is actually a very tough game to kind of project out. The Chargers sitting at 4-3, the Browns at 2-6, but the Browns but starting Jameis Winston last week, he goes out there and beats the Ravens. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I thought Jameis would be better than Deshaun Watson, and I think he is. Through one game, he threw for 300 plus yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns. Looking at the Chargers side of things, J.K. Dobbins looks really good. Same with Ladd McConkey. The offensive line looks solid. Justin Herbert, they're just not really getting. I mean, I don't know. The Chargers are 4-3, so they are getting some wins. I just feel like people aren't talking about them a lot. Same with the Broncos. The Broncos are 5-3. We'll get to them in a little bit. With the Chargers, they're actually favored by 1.5. But I believe in Jameis. I mean, he went out there slinging last week. He didn't throw a pick, which kind of surprising. He probably should have had one on the game-winning drive. Kyle Hamilton dropped one there, and ultimately they went on to beat the Ravens and upset them. But if the Browns can beat the Ravens, what's telling me they can't beat the Chargers? They get this one at home, too. I still believe the Browns have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, they still have Myles Garrett now. There have been a lot of trade rumors surrounding him, Denzel Ward as well. I mean, but they're still on the team, and I still believe the Browns. I mean, Nick Chubb is going to be another week back from his injury, so I think he's only going to get better. I don't know. I feel like the Browns, they're kind of, figuring things out. I mean, they are 2-6. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or anything. But Jameis gives them a new spark. I'm going to go ahead and take them here at home in the dog pound over the Chargers. I don't know. I feel like these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I don't know. I'll take the Browns at home. I believe in Jameis. Oh boy, this is a real stinker of a game. The Patriots, 2-6, mind you, but they did just beat the Jets. Take on the 1-6 Titans. Man, this game. I will say, if Drake May was playing, I'd probably take the Patriots pretty easily. Like I said, the Patriots did just go out and beat the Jets with Drake May. I know he got hurt, so he's probably not going to be playing this game against Tennessee. I feel like this is a game where Tennessee can win. They're at home. Obviously, these two teams are two of the worst in the league. Tennessee's actually favored by 3.5. I think their defense is good enough to get to Brissett. I mean, their D-line is really good. I feel like Tony Pollard can have a nice day here for them. I mean, this is the lowest over/under in the game. In a defensive style game, I actually think it favors the Titans a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and take them over the Patriots. But again, this is going to be just brutal watch here. I'm going to go with the home team. Like I said, if Drake May was playing, probably would take the Patriots. But he's not, so give me Will Levis and the Titans. I'm not going to say that very often for the rest of the year. The Commanders at the Giants. Obviously, the Commanders took down my team last week on a Hail Mary. Still not over that one. Heartbreaking loss for me, and if you're for the Bears, for me, and anybody else who's a brave soul out there as a Bears fan. But this one's pretty simple for me. Commanders 6-2, Giants 2-6. The Commanders are by far the better team here. Jaden Daniels looking like he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. It is. I mean, Jaden Daniels versus Malik Neighbors. That could be an interesting story. Surprisingly, the Commanders only favored by 3.5. My thinking is, I think the Commanders are slightly better, if not about the same as the Steelers. The Steelers did just beat the Giants. And I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a little bit more healthy for this one. Same thing with Brian Robinson. Terry McLaurin still doing his thing. I think the Commanders are the better team here. Another thing, I think the Bears are better than the Giants. I mean, the Bears' defense is one of the best in the league. This is going to be a pretty easy matchup compared to the Bears for the Commanders. So I'm going to go ahead and take Washington there. Another pretty rough matchup here. The 2-6 Saints with Spencer Rattler at the helm, I believe. I don't think Derek Carr's back yet. I could be mistaken. Go to Carolina to take on the Panthers, led by Bryce Young, I believe. I'm not sure if Dalton is going to take the starter role back. I don't think he will. But obviously the big story here is the Panthers trade Deontay Johnson to the Ravens, so they are just cleaning house, selling off all they can. I mean, they've already thrown in the towel at this point for the season, and I'm really interested to see what they do with Bryce Young. But that's besides the point. If the Saints are starting Rattler or Derek Carr, I'm going to go ahead and take them. The Panthers are just a dumpster fire over there. Chris Olave looks really good without Shaheed. I mean, they're finally just throwing the ball his way, which I like to see because he is on my fantasy team. And when Derek Carr comes back, I think that's only going to get better. Kamara's still doing his thing there. Again, once Derek Carr comes back, this is a completely different Saints team. With or without him, give me the Saints over the Panthers. The Panthers are the worst team in the league. The 5-3 Broncos take on the 5-3 Ravens. It's weird to think these two teams have the same record, but they do. If we're being honest, though, the Ravens are the far superior team. They're favored by 9.5 at home. I will say I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm interested to see what they do with Deontay Johnson. I was actually not expecting that for them. So now what happens with Zay Flowers? I don't know. I mean, the offense is probably better with Deontay Johnson. Obviously, Derrick Henry still there. Lamar, one of the best, if not the best QB in the league. They're starting to get Mark Andrews involved, which I think they should have. I mean, he's one of their best players, so I don't know what the thought process there was. I will say one thing about the Broncos. Their defense is really, really good. So, I mean, that's kind of typical for the Broncos. But I will say Bo Nix, I've been saying he's shown some flashes. Those flashes are starting to become a little bit more regular He's looking pretty good. So the Broncos may have found something there in Bo Nix. We'll see. I was actually high on Bo Nix coming out of the draft. I thought Bo Nix, besides Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, would be the best quarterback coming out of the draft class. I thought Bo Nix would be better than McCarthy, Drake May, Michael Penix. So I was actually pretty high on Bo Nix. I was higher on Bo Nix than most people. I mean, he's proven me right so far. He's looking pretty solid, so good for them. But I am going to take the Ravens at home. The Jaguars go into Philly to take on the Eagles. I believe this is the first afternoon game of the day, or of what we haven't talked about up to this point. This is pretty easy. The Jaguars just lost Christian Kirk for the year. Travis Etienne's banged up. Brian Thomas is banged up. Even if they were healthy, go ahead and give me the Eagles. The Eagles looking like they're starting to figure things out there, which is probably good. I mean, they are 5-2. I think they moved to 6-2 there this week. They're favored by 7.5 at home. Gonna go ahead and take them. The Bears going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Two teams where complete opposites. Cardinals win on a last-second play against the Dolphins. The Bears lose on a last-second play to the Commanders. This is essentially a pick'em game. Vegas says Arizona's favored by 1 point at home. I think the Bears defense can slow them down enough, and I think they have a nice bounce back game here. I do think the Bears are better overall than the Cardinals, so go ahead and give me them here. These are two evenly-ish matched, but I think the Bears, I would give the slight edge. I mean, offensively, I'd say they're pretty similar. And then defensively, I'll take the Bears all day. So I think the defense is the difference here for the Bears. Maybe they force Kyler to throw a pick or two. I think they win here in this one against the Cardinals. Game of the week here. Once again, an NFC North matchup. I mean, the division is just the best in football by far. You got the 6-1 Lions taking on the 6-2 Packers, not to mention Vikings also sitting at 5-2 and the Bears at 4-3. It's crazy how good this division's become. But when looking at this one, this is one where I could actually see the Packers winning this one. I mean, the Lions aren't going to win every game, right? I mean, yes, they're 6-1. This could be a game where the Lions lose. It's in Lambeau. They're only favored by 3.5, which, I mean, last week they were favored by 12, and I was saying, whoa, you might want to take the Titans to cover. Boy, was I wrong. The Lions put up 53 points. They've put up over 50 points in 3 of their last 4 games. The only game they didn't was against the Vikings, in which they won. The Lions are looking right now, I think you could argue the Lions are looking like the best team in football. Definitely the best offense in football. That's not a question. So I'm going to take the Lions. It's a safer pick. Everybody else is on the Lions. There's no reason for me to go ahead and take the Packers in this one. But like I said, I could see the Packers actually pulling this one off. Don't be surprised if the Packers do win. But I got to go with the Lions. Like I said, they're looking like the best team in football. It's so hard to pick against them right now. Yes, the Packers look good, but Jordan Love's a little banged up as well. If he plays, I could see the Packers winning. But I'm just not sure if he plays at this point. So we will see. I'm going to take the Lions, though, either way. The Rams versus the Seahawks. This is a huge, crucial NFC West matchup. The Rams sitting at 3-4. The Seahawks sitting at 4-4. The Rams have been banged up for a lot of this year, but they just came off a win over the Vikings on Thursday Night Football, handing the Vikings their second straight loss. And the Rams bring back Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua at the same exact time. Both of them have great games, and they look like a completely new team with those two back in. I mean, the offense is just rejuvenated. They've been dealing with a whole lot of injuries, so it's good to see those two back. Kyren Williams still doing his thing. The defense still doing all right, doing enough. With the Seahawks, I mean, they also dealt with some injuries last week. No DK Metcalf, so that hurt them a little bit. I don't know if he'll play here this week. I think the Rams getting a lot of these guys back. I think they're starting to get their mojo back. They're favored by 1.5 on the road. Go ahead and give me them. I think they go into Seattle and get another win here, another week with them being even more healthy. So give me the Rams. Moving to Sunday Night Football. Speaking of the Vikings here take on the Colts at home. The Colts just announced earlier today that they benched Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. It's crazy, but that's probably, I mean, if they're trying to win, that's probably the right move. Anthony Richardson was, what, 10 of 32 or something last week against the Texans. He's subbed out of play because he was tired. I mean, it's not looking good for him. He looks pretty bad. That doesn't make me feel confident about the Colts. Yes, the Colts offense looks a lot better with Joe Flacco, but against this Vikings defense and against this Vikings team in general, especially with it being in Minnesota, primetime game, I'm going to take the Vikings here. I think they bounce back with a win over the Colts. And then finally, the Monday night game, the Buccaneers go to the Chiefs. I can see this one, if Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are here, this could be a pretty high scoring game. But without him, it's hard for me to think that the Bucks can win here. It's in Arrowhead, prime time. The Chiefs defense just looks like top 5 in the league. Elite. Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, obviously. Xavier Worthy. The Chiefs are once again stacked. They're probably I mean, it's hard to say they don't make the Super Bowl. I mean, they're going to have a very real chance to three-peat this year. It's hard for me to pick against them here with a banged-up Bucks team on the road in primetime. The Chiefs favored by 8.5. I'll go ahead and take them here at home. No surprise. I think they continue their undefeated season. But let me know what you think about my Week 9 NFL game predictions. Comment down below yours, what you disagree with, what you agree with. Just love to debate down there. Always fun. Links in the description, as always, X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those, join those. Subscribe if you're new, turn on the noties. Like I said, college basketball every Monday, college football every Tuesday, of course, NFL every Wednesday. NBA typically Thursdays, not this week because we got a whole lot of college basketball content this week. I mean, we just dropped our ACC season preview on Monday. Tomorrow we're going to be dropping our Big East preview. Friday is going to be the Big 12, Saturday SEC, Sunday Big 10, and then that leads right into Monday with our first Power 40 rankings of the year. So very exciting time to be on the channel if you're new. We also do MLB content, so if any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe. But that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, we will see you tomorrow with our Big East college basketball season preview.